For what could be our last game of the day, Penta Sports looked pretty decent here against Team Doggy, to say the least. They've already beat them 2-0 in the upper bracket of this tournament. They're well on their way. Same thing again, and this time though, they'd be knocking Team Doggy out of it entirely. My name is Dragondrop. This is a Witch Doctor first pick here from Team Doggy, so not the most common here in this day and age, from what I've seen. The Lich as well, even. Haven't seen a whole lot of that guy around. Crops up every once in a while, but he's not nearly as popular as he used to be. Even in the near the end of 706. But Penta, go back for him now, together with the Sand King. We'll see. Could still be ogres coming out and gyrocopters. Too surprised at this point. And now it's the Earth Spirit taken away from Penta even. ENZ pretty much on fire on that hero in the last game. Missed one of 2 spells here, but that was about it.
10 seconds remaining.
Doggy trying to leverage that same kind of power here against Penta Sports to keep themselves alive in the tournament. Because that's what's at stake here. That's coming out. Viper taken away, so no crazy material win shenanigans. That was a staple of the last game. Like, they kind of tussled back and forth here, traded very evenly in the bottom lane, just constantly fighting and trading heroes and whatnot. But meanwhile, mid, Oliver on the Juggernaut there was doing quite well against the puck with just a little bit of help initially from our man. ENZ, and well, he got out of control. Same for 9 up in the top lane, who was left solo up against a Tidehunter. No problem at all for his Razor. Speaking of Razor, it's been banned out. Penta, if they can find a similar kind of lanes set up for victory here, then might be able to repeat this kind of a feat. Now they have the Lich who can just stabilize one lane. Potentially the off lane here, just dragging it back closer to the tower, which would set up for any offlane hero that they want to pick, which is maybe a little bit greedier.
5 seconds remaining.
Have as much survivability perhaps as you would otherwise require if the lane were to meet further up near the Radiant safe lane, or Dire safe lane at this point. They still have a lot of time to think about it. Abaddon has been banned too, so that's one of the classic Oliver heroes, but could still see the CK. In this game here with the Witch Doctor, could be a bit annoying. At the same time, like, if you're confident enough in your play, like if you're the one who's running people down, then that might very well be not something that you're really too worried about.
Dire team pick.
Now it's a Clockwork, okay? Could be the one for Boogie, tanking roaming around, but could be the other way around too. They have that flexibility.
Radiant team pick.
It's yet another way to try and keep the lane back. Make sure they can secure last hits and force Team Doggy to go a little bit further up. Though they secure themselves an offlaner, which has been extremely popular for a number of reasons. Just because he's really good in mid game with the Brew Split, with ultimate, and he's also one of these heroes that in most matchups will be able to stay alive just by virtue of his tankiness and all the evasion that he has to offer. And he can also just make life very, very hard for the safe lane carry in terms of just getting his last hits because of the Drunken Haze. Something that Penta Sports might need to find a solution for. I mean, Clockwork is pretty decent. I do believe that you can interrupt the Brew Split. That has a very long cast point, so if you isolate him inside the cogs, have the battery assault going, should be pretty good. Out of that though, he should be dominating these mid-game team fights. Kind of what the hero's designed to be doing. At that point, you just need to try and kite you around. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a couple of 4-stars he picked up. Clockwork always has that on his plan, one way or the other. Mostly just a question of whether you want the Blade Mail first or the 4-star. Sand King can also easily buy it, but he obviously wants the Blink Dagger first if he can possibly get it. And Lich is very flexible as a support hero. You can take whatever your team needs. Sometimes that is a 4-star, sometimes a Glimmer Cape, sometimes even a Medallion or something. If they looking to try to get Roche perhaps. Running through the rest of the reserve time here, thinking about the next options, and for now it is the lifestealer. Alright. Could very well be that Oliver Lifestealer is so famed, he will run it mid, he will build a Radiance after Phase Boots or something, or Phase Boots Armlet. That'll be that, and then they'll win the game. That's normally the way these things work out for Penta.
Radiant team ban.
Okay, though. Well, Juggernaut. Super standard. Safe against both Sanking and Clockwork. Bin out if you're in trouble. The Sanking sitting around on the off lane, being a bit annoying. He could just try and leverage that
10 seconds
that caustic finale. Yeah, you can spin for emergencies, but you don't want to spin every single time. That is on the creeps.
Dire team ban.
Pick for Penta. Looking for 9 hero. Good. Faces Void would still be in the pool. They have Prophet taken out by themselves.
10 seconds remaining.
Void wouldn't be the best here, considering that you have 3 melee heroes already.
Remaining.
But you do have the Lich with the ultimate. Sanking can always just follow up. Probably worth consideration at the very least. They like to run that every once in a while in drafts that are not necessarily always always set up for that. Certainly be strong knockdown for the Brewmaster and the Juggernaut. What other options are there? Bloodseeker perhaps? Not the best game for it with the Brewmaster, can just run you down easily. Also ran Slark, Troll Warlord, but that was together with a Magnus. If you want to add more push, could very well be a Lycan.
Dire team pick.
What team Doggy? Well,
Team
gonna be the mid hero. Or is it? Magnus.
Magnus.
Alright, so either Mag or Brewmaster mid this game. Interesting. Both of these heroes were the classic mids back in the day, but they've since shifted into the offlane. Wolfling, alright. How can I forget about the Wolfling? It's pretty interesting here because you can do some shenanigans. You can like turn into the Magnus, give your lifesteal and power. See if that ever comes into play here. I mean, sometimes pro players and Wolfling players here don't even use the ultimate really, and just end up playing him the old-fashioned way. That without that safety net, essentially, from having an illusion that you can morph back into. But yeah, will probably still end up being some sort of shotgun build eventually. Was Boogie playing him, I would maybe say, oh yeah, strength morph, you can... I think you still have a ridiculous amount of stun if you max it out. It's 3 seconds, not 4.5 or 4 seconds as it was before. At max level, so... Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, TEDO. They're down 0-1 up against Penta Sports in an elimination best of 3 here in the Galaxy Battles E qualifiers. The winner of this one will move on to face up again against Mouse Sports. Excuse me. Against Mouse Sports, the winner of that match will then move on into the second phase of these qualifiers, where Kingwin and Team Secret are waiting in a single elimination bracket. Winner of that bracket, then they will qualify for the first major of 2018 in the Philippines. Oliver. If he'd be taunting if he knew what's waiting for him just around the corner. Oh yeah, the rise. Just sitting there. Hasn't put a point into anything just yet, so he can maybe try and rage out, but they'll show themselves now. And Roller connects, pops the rage immediately. Yeah. Should keep him safe. Doesn't have a lot of regen here. He's a meteor just with one share tango. Bit of an issue. He can't even lifesteal off the wave here once you get to it because well, here's rage level 1. Even though it's not the first part, it's still decent amount of advantage. Boogie gets rolled on here, but he should be fine. All the bounty runes, so Penta get that in exchange. Triple bounty for them. Again, as expected, it often clockwork the roaming Sand King. You can see have his hands on that one. Gonna try to be annoying to Rise here to begin with. Bottom lane with the duo between 9 and RMN. Should be absolutely fine. But Hepsijo also shouldn't have too many issues with staying alive down here either. So the interesting part is here what Ixon is doing. He can manage to connect some of these gangs. Boogie, for now, being zoned away from the experience that he so craves. At the very least, he hasn't died just yet. And it's also pretty tanky. He's 160 health points. 2 armor plus a stout shield. Not always easy here without any sort of magic moves. Ice continuing to be bullied here. It is a classic. Right? The Arise Magnus. Dropping items and faking up to deny. Classic. These two teams, they know each other very well indeed. Top lane Boogie. Okay, that's just not your side of the map, pal. Please wait through the trees. And we see a lot of time actually from focus here. Not a deal for him. Quite a few creeps here, and they don't get the kills. So base created. He'll be straight to the lane. He'll be right back too. Meanwhile down bottom, do have a wraparound happening. Perhaps yes, DNZ will secure the bounty rune at the very least. SHO doing the same on the other side. He'll only get the one.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Speaking of wraparound though, Ixon continuing to stick around up top. This roll will be dodged. The cast bouncing actually back to Boogie, and this together with the spin as well as Meldic. This will be the first blood. Oh, will it focus? Well, it will be. Almost the other way though. He's healing up on that. RMN cancels himself and secures the kill without the tower. So hey, hands up play there from him. Making sure that's the thing. And well, Juggernaut squinting a little bit too deep, getting caught inside the cogs. Boogie making the most of that situation. The lane just continue farming. I mean, lifestealer mid normally it's not common. It's pretty much only Penta doing this. But TEDO giving them this melee hero as a matchup, which is pretty good for lifestealers. Right? He likes having melee matchups against them because he can always trade very efficiently. Even with the empower on the field, the cleave just being a bit annoying, can heal himself up, especially for a decently tanky hero like the Magnus. He really wants to deny and he got it. Meanwhile down bottom though. DNZ and 9 work together to somehow bring down the Brewmaster. Not really supposed to happen at this point. He's level 2, so you have the Drunken Haze and the Drunken Brawler. 9 level 4, 2 points up into the waveform. Decent nuke to work with. Need to go on top, Boogie. Well, Focus super low on health here. Can actually just right click him down perhaps. Has some force to juke and jive inside the trees, but that'll be enough with the cask also interrupting things a little bit. Top lane slowly but surely, despite the death here after the first blood, continuing to work in favor of Team Doggy.
Justice for the dead.
And the Rise here, despite Oliver being pretty strong and Lifestealer being good in 1v1 melee matchups in general, able to keep up quite nicely. 26 and 5 on Oliver, but 21 and 3 on Rise. So doing what he can. Especially helpful if RMN is forced to try and help out in the other lanes. Little tracks of space for Rise to work with. Gonna go again down bottom Brewmaster. There's the extra nukes, has to go. Being bottom block this way, but trying to go into the river. Low down, but another burst strike available for AD and Z. The waveform here after the magic wand, alright. No help coming out, no instant TP or anything. So he did have one available. He could have probably went for it. Could have probably gone for it after the burst strike here, but yeah, 9. I think might have held a point there into the agility strike, the strength strike to cancel it. Entirely sure whether they could get away with a clockwork though. Well, Boogie's not having the best time up top. Bit of a relapse. That's exactly what happened in the games against Mousesports. Boogie just being picked off 1 or 2 too many times. As long as 9 and Oliver are having a good game. I mean, similar last as well, right? A lot of back and forth here in this offlane. Boogie, Armen, and DNZ playing up against whatever team Doggy threw in that lane, and all of that was space created for 9's Razor and Oliver's Juggernaut, and might be a similar situation here. Just going straight for a Radiance here, perhaps, without even any sort of detour. Meanwhile, Hesijo, well, away from being dodged. First strike, not so much. A couple of right clicks should finish him off. Oh, well. Ah, man, 3 points up on a Frost Blast, the classic build. Will help that along quite easily, too. TP back to base. The TP reaction to try and turn this around, also cancel that quick pick.
Invisibility.
Oh, this is useful. Morphling 2 kills, 1 assist. I want to say Hesijo going down as much as he is, and is even more impactful than Clockwork in this game, because we really need to rely on this level bit. This time again though, oh! Keep feeding focus at the very least, with these same kind of plays. This time Moya is the one who actually grabs the kill. Armen, a little bit too late for rotation, but now they also brought DNZ along. Trying to turn this around onto Witch Doctor perhaps. They will have the extra slow from the Cosmic Finale kicking in just a little bit. They need to deny to get some more mana for Frost Blast, and that'll mean that Moya will have plenty of time to get far enough away from Armen. Now 1v1 up against Hesijo. Not ideal, but he's 2 levels ahead at this point. Rise, this wraparound, this play could turn into something. If he TP'd in or if he just walked in, because if he'd walked, then Radiant Observer could have spotted him out. And not really playing all that defensively right now, just relying on his waveform. Hesijo might be even baiting him out, and straight up die. One more right click, not quite here. The cast as well as the RP, dragging him back on the tower. Still more strength, TPing out. There's nothing left to cancel it here. Even with Ixen coming in, not quick enough on his fingers here for the stun. It's a huge commitment here. RP, 4 heroes in this bottom lane, but 9 still survives. Also more space here for Boogie to try and catch up, gets his level 6. Find a hookshot, start roaming around and abandoning this disastrous offlane for him. Do all of that, Oliver just continues to farm.
I'll take that. I'll take your treatment.
Well, he did opt for Facebook before the Radiance, so that makes a lot of sense. A little bit too crazy here to just straight up rushed it. Oh, then the courier even walking around. He'll already use Armen. He does not really have the power. Still, I mean, he would need like at least 3 hits, I believe. Don't have the time for that. Let's scout out Ixen. Boogie does not quite have his level 6 just yet. This creep of here worth of unshared experience. Baiting things out a little bit. Ward coming down, rolling from Ixen. Boogie does get the battery sold off already. Now, we turn on the stair. Armen just straight up walks in, but he's the one tanking the cast as well as the Meldic and everything else. They'll trade for Ixen. 1 for 1 so far. DNG is sitting there with a sandstorm. That's exactly what happened last game. Just 1 for 1 there. A 1 for 1 trade there in all these other lanes. And Oliver are just absolutely fine with that. Look at the CS, they're sitting on top of the charts. Look over the network, that's the same story there as you would imagine. Slowing down focus here, this is the name of the game, whatever it takes. Problem is in this game you also have the Magnus, he's probably going to start putting extra points into the power sooner rather than later. For now, skewing away. Dutch ultimate bouncing through. He needs a blink, he needs a couple of extra levels in power to just set up for Juggernaut and enable him to be super effective regardless of everything. Boogie finds Hookshot up top, and he'd be trading his life for it, that's the question. That's the joke. They can rotation the TP in without even his level 6, but they have the RP for Rise. A lot of hate from this Clockwork. No doubt about it. DMZ, he first struck the other way and tanks the Omni Slash. Not sure about this one. Could easily just burst strike here down the river or up here and not run into more heroes.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Kind of dangerous because Juggernaut, if you let him catch up like that, then he can maybe even start men fighting up against Lifestealer, or more realistically, continue to use his Omni Slash in the backlines against these supports than against Clockwork. This time he should be fine. At the same time, there's also the morphling factor. This is a very dangerous hero to let free farm. I mean, Lifestealer maybe you can deal with, but morphling on top of that. Even turn on the second Lifestealer if you think about it. Like, that would be hilarious actually. 8-9 using that morph. But we'd need level 20 for that. But just imagine, level 20 morph turns into Lifestealer, both of them infest into something. Both of them infest into the Clockwork or the Sand King. No, there hasn't put a single point into it. Max out the attribute shift, obviously. Increasing the shift rate tremendously here, make sure that he cannot really die very easily. That away from maxed out, gonna continue to go skill up the agility strike and the adaptive strike in general. Is he even farming up camps on the other side of the map? A bit closer to this Blink Dagger. Looks like they want to try and go on to 9. They do commit the Bruise Bit, follow up with the stun. They brought 4 heroes. Could maybe turn into something. TP's coming through though. RP, Death Ward, everything. 9 still gets the waveform off, but with Maledict and needs a bit of damage over time. They will secure the kill, but at what cost? Ixen will be the one to fall. There's still a hookshot, and that'll connect onto Hastajo as well. 2 for 1 so far. Focus is there too though. Does have the Empower as well as an Omni Slash at ready with a nice little casket between Boogie and RMN. Spinning down the Clockwork. Well, RMN exchanges this round onto Noya. Almost gonna get that kill with the nukes and the bounce back. Arise was trying to help, but he sealed the fate of his friend Boogie. Still alive at the same time. Focus. Out of mana now for the Omni Slash. That get away from them too, so they lose 3 heroes, they only get the 2. One of them was the Morphling, and I was just saying, yeah, that's letting him free farm is not the way to go, so don't disagree with the decision to go for it. But it almost was a little bit too late, because they had to commit literally everything on top of it. Blue Split, RP, Magnetize, Death Ward. 4 ultimates. Still holding on to the Omni Slash, but that's about it. Then he still barely almost survived there. This is the craziest part. Go for us Lincolns now, so next time it won't be quite as easy. Top though, the roll in onto Sand King. Death Ward, silence. Oh, he's just gonna picked up immediately. Focus, we're looking for another one. Still level 1 Omni Slash should not really be enough to kill Clockwing by itself. Pretty speedy right now too. Without even Tranquil Boots, he went for weak threats instead. Still sitting at 380 move speed. Potentially here the defensive hook shots. Something that you could play around sitting in front of him. Overall, I want to say TEDO are in a slightly better position in this game than they were before, because they have Juggernaut who can do quite a bit of things, especially in conjunction with Magnus, who now has the Blink Dagger. And if anyone knows how to play Magnus this game, then it is Arise. What? Oh, okay. Epicenter was just them running him down. He didn't put a point into it yet. I was gonna take the rest, some of this farm here, if 9 gives it to him, but says, nope, it's mine, I want it. Get your Blink Dagger somewhere else, only 200 gold away from it. This has to not die here, which he really shouldn't unless there's some big commitment. Ixen spots that rotation. Maybe it's the other way around, who knows, DNZ. Well, exactly what I said should not really be happening. RP committed as well though, okay. First strike down, will even die here. Dodges the stun, RMN is there to try and help out. Isn't Oliver both? Yeah, they looking to turn us around. 9 also make the rotation here. They dodge the extra bounces. Neuer will give his life for it though. Ixen. On the high ground here, away from the follow. One right click and away. And another one before can reach the shrine. 2 heroes down for nothing. So who is baiting who here? I was praising Arise, but I do not agree with this very liberal use of the RP. That down, I mean, PENTA, no problems whatsoever. Just saying, hey, okay, you want to fight us? We'll fight you. Sure, why not? I'm not scared. I don't have it available here for the Clockwork. Blink Skewer is still a thing. TP through as well. They also have the Only Slash. Clockwork. With that, probably decide to go for the 4-staff next because you then have the 4-staff. You can just keep him inside the cogs so get yourself out. But now he finishes off the drums, has the Urn of Shadows, so very cost-efficient items. The team-oriented items too. Try and give back because giving a lot over to TEDO still. 6 deaths. Exactly ideal, but hey, what you gonna do? You want a Lifestealer? Look at that. Radiance recipe available and completed item now on him. Medallion next. Yeah, this is the classic Oliver build. He can start doing damage now and going to do that onto Ixen. DNZ with haste soon, even blink showing up. Pass bouncing through, trying to dodge it. Yeah, it doesn't actually bounce. Trying to roll away, but Oliver's not gonna let it. DNZ, alright. He does get some melting. Might even take out of that with the extra ticks of the death wall. Oh, even blocks the hookshot for his Finn, but Booey's still gonna get the cogs in with SHO and well, trying to get the ultimate off. That's not gonna happen, my friend. Not with the battery assault. Our man helps with the extra nukes and well, turns into a 2-for-1 trade. Oliver very confident indeed, just running them down even more. Focus has to spin, try and get away, but well, Oliver gonna get that kill. This is where you use the RP though, like did Rise hear me? Like not sure. He gets the blink skewer now as Neuer almost falls to that. This all despite hitting one. Trying to keep Juggernaut alive, didn't quite work for him. It will at very least work for the Witch Doctor, but PENTA, they're not stopping. Ixen pushes him back before the Rage can come through. He still dies to 9 here as he comes in from the backline. That's the RP on 2, but Neuer unable to follow up with anything. No casts. I guess it's still bouncing through, so not doing anything though. And Arise barely able to TP out. They catch the last bruise bling. And will not quite be able to bring him down before Joe turns into his normal form. It doesn't even matter. Once again, PENTA, they hit the timing, they understand it very well, and they just say, yeah, those fights, come at us. Putting TEDO on a tremendous amount of pressure. I'm not sure what the Omni-Slash status was in Juggernaut. Might have still been on cooldown from the Boogie kill, but maybe if Arise uses that RP a little bit earlier. But I mean, I know I was just criticizing his single mana piece. But an Oliver running down your carry like that, killing him, maybe that's worth it. And if you had Omni-Slash, you could turn things around. You can maybe try and punish this, but well, didn't work out that way. Oliver felt very large and in charge throughout that entire series of events. Now he's a Solar Crest, not just a Medallion. Even more damage. It's a poor man's Desolator, you could say, and also gives him that evasion. Highly cost effective on a hero like him. Also allows them to take Roshan if they want, but well, this is really get more kills. Blink Dagger on DNZ showing off a little bit earlier. TP through from Neuer, it's a very easy one, and you will see it now as 9 comes through and it gets gone on here by him and Ixen. Oh god, that was a mistake. That's a Joe, also a lot of trouble. He just had to TP out, but there's way too much power here on Oliver. Even with the Bruce build, even if you had that available and got it off, I'm not sure that would have done the trick, because well, I guess you can't really slow down the Earthbender. Regardless though, didn't work out that way, so now a very scary Lifestealer, as well as a very scary Morphling, which is well on his way towards a shotgun. Right now, it's the amount of tower damage between all of them, even without the Desolator. That's the one thing that Soul Quest does not give you, is extra tower build potential. But who needs it if you just keep winning every team fight? TEDO, I kind of feel comfortable going into this, but They kind of need to. They need to find the good big Blink RP. This is what it comes down to at this point. Blink RP into Empower Juggernaut Omni Slash. Get like at least Oliver. Because honestly, even with all his tankiness and survivability, he's probably still easier to kill than a Morphling at this point with a Strength Morph. And the complete shotgun, there it is. Blade, Tessajo. Ow! What the hell was that? Alright, how much damage? 1,430. Only 300 here from the setup for DNZ. Now he has a passenger looking for another Blink target. TEDO not fast enough even as the courier. What is that doing there? One right click boogie. Can't quite get in range, but even with the 4-star. Damn.
I'll take that as tribute.
Dire are scanning.
How do you deal with this? Outside of that big bomber
Radiant are
combo.
Dire's
I
middle
don't think you
tower
do.
is
Like
under
they're
attack.
trying to split them out. Maybe they can work. Focus kind of committing to that right now, but DNC, well, still being kept tabs on by Axon because the last bit of seconds on that
Dire's middle
Invis.
tower has fallen.
9. Quite walking into him. That is the hook shot down in the south. Arise. Quite get us into do off in time, but doesn't even matter. Has a Joe next to this time. He does get his Bruce Split off here before he can be bursted down. Maybe caught on the wrong side of the card. In front though, there's the RP. Use some 9. He's starting to more strength though. With the Death Ward, I think committed still gets away from him. Not quite down to the low ground, but he's taking enough damage here. Only slash. Fall on him, transferring over to DNZ with the epicenter going. Another burst strike on 2. 9 is still very much alive. Mission not exactly accomplished, and it's not even to say of Oliver. Everyone's kind of out of spells at this point, so Oliver just can feel very comfortable walking in, getting that free kill, and just same thing one more time on the focus perhaps.
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
Not the catapult. Keeping alive here with the tower aggro transfer. Has to do not a whole lot he can offer now without that Bruce Split. And okay, Arise next on the list. Just bursting down. 9. Doesn't even care at all. And the rest of TEDO falls back into the fountain, and as the hookshot misses, the GG will play this call. They don't even want to try, and I cannot really fault them. They committed everything on a Morphling. It barely worked the last time. Certainly doesn't now, ever since he got so much stronger. So Penta, clear and concise victory in game number 2. And in the series as a whole, 2-0 is the final scoreline. And they will punch the ticket for a rematch up against Mouseboard. That'll happen tomorrow at 1800 CAT, apparently. Yeah, I'm not sure if... Yeah, Mouseboards must be traveling back tomorrow, so it's probably to accommodate that. We would be sitting at 1700 CAT, but... Well, regardless, gonna have that first, and afterwards we'll have Hellraisers versus Evil Corporation. The winners of these matches will face up against Team Secret. That'll be from Group B, also either Mouseboards or Penta. And the Kinguin, that'll be either Hellraisers or Evil Corporation. Looking forward to this one. I hope you are too. In the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter at DragonDropDota. See you soon.